What you observe is a variety of chest exercises, and today I will be ranking them from least effective to most effective. This way, you can concentrate solely on the ones that will provide the results you desire. By the end of this video, you'll want to retain some exercises while others may seem better off discarded. So, with that in mind, let's begin ranking them individually. We'll proceed from the lowest rank to the highest. I want to mention that certain criteria will influence the placement of each exercise. We need to ensure that the exercises can genuinely produce results without being inadequate or failing to challenge you enough for growth. Additionally, we aim to identify exercises that are multifaceted, those that build muscle while also offering solid strength gains. Some exercises, unfortunately, are simply ineffective, and we will address those as well. Hence, we start our list with the bench fly. Now, I recognize that Arnold was fond of this exercise, but just because he favored the fly and I admire Arnold does not mean I am obligated to share the same affection for this exercise. My distaste stems from research that highlights valid reasons for skepticism. To substantiate this viewpoint, a recent study led by Solstad and his team compared muscle activation during the barbell bench press and dumbbell flies. The conclusion: the bench press outperforms flies concerning average muscle activation across all target muscle groups, including the pectorals. The discrepancy in muscle activity was primarily observed in the upper third of the movement, where the bench press effectively worked the pecs, while the flies did not. This conclusion aligns perfectly with biomechanical principles. Using dumbbells, the external moment arm is maximized at the bottom position, allowing for an excellent stretch, but there is virtually no tension on the pecs at the top position. In simpler terms, bench presses engage the pecs over a more effective range of motion (ROM). Most studies indicate that training with a larger ROM promotes greater muscle growth. Additionally, there are potential injury risks associated with poor form during bench fly execution. Performing this unsupported exercise increases the likelihood of damaging the anterior shoulder capsule, a serious injury that is challenging to recover from and restore to normal functionality. Furthermore, the risk of a pec tear rises due to the extreme arm positioning required for this exercise. For these reasons, I must place a significant tread X on the bench fly, especially since there are superior alternatives I will discuss later in this list. Next up, surprisingly, is the standing cable press, which may not be what you expect. The reason for its low ranking is that it tends to challenge your core more than the chest muscles you're intending to develop. The positioning and weight distribution often force your abs to work harder, but it isn't optimal for enhancing chest gains. Continuing through our lower tier, we find the incline bench press, but with a caveat: the angle plays a crucial role. Setting the bench to a 68 degrees incline may not be ideal for chest development, as it redirects focus toward your front deltoids. We need to determine the optimal angle for maximizing upper chest activation. So, why is the 68 degrees incline bench press considered one of the worst exercises? A recent study assessed the electromyographic (EMG) activity levels of the pectoralis major, anterior deltoid, and triceps during bench presses at various incline angles: 0 degrees, 15 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 68 degrees. The findings were quite revealing. The highest EMG activity for the upper portion of the pectoralis major was observed at a 38 degrees incline. In contrast, inclines above 45 degrees not only significantly heightened anterior deltoid activation but also diminished the muscular performance of the pectoralis major. Considering this evidence, it's evident that a 68 degrees incline bench press isn't the best option if you're aiming for optimal chest activation. As we move through the less effective exercises, it's not about entirely discarding them, rather, it's about understanding their limitations and making informed choices for the best gains. Now that we've discussed some less favorable exercises for maximizing your gains, let's shift our attention to the better category of exercises. These movements provide an improvement in effectiveness and align more closely with the chances for muscle activation and growth. First on this list is the classic push-up. Before you dismiss it as too simplistic, remember that the basic push-up is a fundamental element of chest training. However, it's important to understand that for advanced practitioners, the basic push-up may not always be sufficiently challenging, but for beginners or as part of a comprehensive routine, it serves as an excellent option. Here's how you can enhance your push-ups. A study investigating how how hand width affects muscle activation during push-ups. Had participants perform push-ups with narrow, neutral, and wide hand positions as well as an extra wide grip. These variations impact various muscle groups differently. If your goal is to engage the pectoralis minor, triceps, and infraspinatus, a narrower grip may be ideal. However, for overall chest engagement with the focus on the pectoralis major, a neutral or slightly wider grip appears to be most effective. Let's also revisit the fly, but this time as the floor fly. Why? Because safety is crucial. The floor fly allows for resisted adduction in a more secure environment, with the floor acting as a safety net. This means you can focus on the exercise without the risks tied to the traditional bench fly. Additionally, the floor fly enables the use of heavier weights and emphasizes eccentric movement, promoting greater muscle growth. Next, we have the underhand dumbbell bench press, an often overlooked but valuable exercise, particularly for those without access to an inclined bench. Research has indicated it elicits superior activation of the upper chest fibers compared to a 68 degrees inclined dumbbell bench press. While it has some limitations, it certainly earns its place in the better exercises category. These exercises offer a more favorable balance of challenge, safety, and muscle activation. However, we're not finished yet. Stay with me as we advance up the tier list to explore even more effective chest exercises in the even better category. These movements might not be the absolute pinnacle, but they definitely deserve a spot in your chest workout routine. To kick things off, we have the decline bench press. This exercise doesn't always receive the recognition it warrants, but it can truly make a difference. The decline angle targets the lower portion of your chest, aiding in achieving balanced development. It may not reign as the ultimate exercise, but it is undeniably a significant player in the chest exercise realm. Next, let's discuss the dip. I hereby declare the dip as the superior variation of the push-up. Why? Let's break it down. For starters, the dip offers unmatched potential for a progressive overload. You can easily modify the difficulty by adding weight, pushing your muscles to new limits. But there's more. Consider adding a twist to your dips. Not only does this variation engage the chest, but it also activates stabilizing muscles, providing an additional challenge. As we approach the top of our list, it's time to reveal the best exercises that will sculpt your chest like no other. However, before we do that, let's highlight a few notable runners-up in the almost best category. Here, we have the incline bench press, specifically when set to a shallower angle of 38 degrees to 45 degrees. Why does the angle matter? It's all about targeting those upper fibers for a well-rounded chest. Nonetheless, despite its advantages, we place it in the almost best category since the next exercise surpasses it. But hold on, should you opt for a barbell or dumbbell bench press? The classic debate continues to spark interest. Let's settle this once and for all. In a study comparing the traditional bench press at a horizontal angle, researchers uncovered a captivating relationship. When participants used a grip width of between 150% and 200% of the acromial distance, there was a notable increase in pectoralis major activation across various variations, even at the same relative load. The key takeaway here is that executing the traditional bench press with this specific grip width proves exceptionally effective in activating the pectoralis major, demonstrating the importance of refining your technique for optimal muscle engagement. Now for the grand finale, the exercise that truly deserves the title of best is the cable crossover. This exercise claims the crown as the ultimate chest exercise of all time due to its versatility, allowing you to target your chest from multiple angles. The constant tension and peak activation it provides are unparalleled in sculpting your pectorals. So, what makes it the undisputed champion? Science weighs in on this as well. A recent study investigated shoulder injury prevention and the efficacy of various chest exercises, with the cable crossover emerging as a standout. The study involved 20 healthy individuals and aimed to compare the bench press with cable pulley exercises, applying 15% and 30% of body weight. The findings were revealing. In terms of shoulder protection, the cable crossover outperformed the bench press, with significantly higher maximum absolute moments at the shoulder joint for the cable pulley exercises. However, it's not solely about sheer strength. It involves training the complete range of motion (ROM) and ensuring effective intermuscular coordination throughout the upper body. The cable crossover exercise has proven to be a pivotal factor in this context, prompting us to analyze and rank a variety of chest workouts workouts. The crucial part is grasping the rationale behind these rankings to customize your training for optimal results. Now, it's your turn to integrate these exercises into your regimen. Concentrate on them and observe how your chest develops. But hold on, what if I told you that despite these intense workouts, there's still an additional method to maximize your chest gains? This ultimate chest exercise entails a strategic blend of movements to create the best possible chest routine, and we are going to discuss that right here on this channel, so be sure to stay tuned.